Yo, what's up, guys? New video talking about the current state of Siege. And this is a post made by Kisaki. A few people addressed it to me that maybe it would be good if some people would make videos on it just to give it more attention. And I think it's a good thing. Like in general, I think it's definitely a good thing that someone like Kisaki in this case makes a post that get a lot of attention on like a current state of the game that they put a lot of effort in from the point of Aftermath EU. For definitely, they do put a lot of effort into Siege, and that they see slowly declining and getting worse and worse. So there, I've read pretty much everything. I'm not gonna go over everything right now. Like by all means, like I leave the comment in the comments or the description down below here. You can read it all for yourself what you would like, or comment on it, write on it, upvote it, what your opinion is. But the TLDR of most of it is like everyone says current state of Siege is shit for a whole bunch of reasons. I'm gonna actually sum down the reasons and give my opinion on that. In the end, I'm not a core main Siege player like they are. So I have a different opinion about a whole bunch of other things. Also keep in mind there is some European Siege drama going on. Most of the time, this video is not going to be about Siege drama whatsoever. I don't want any comments about Siege drama. You can talk about Siege drama on other shit, but this is clearly about the state, the core mechanics of Siege, and how to improve that. Mainly on how to improve that, because that is what the main thing I feel like is lacking from this post. This post in a lot of things, and a lot of people are saying like, this is shit, that is shit, this is shit, that is shit. I think people at Counter know, because therefore they started addressing things, trying to switch things. They actually gave the reaction in the dev talk in Korea saying like, okay, we tried to make it better and we actually made it work and we sincerely apologize for that. That's literally pretty much what they said. So they are seeing that there's something wrong with Siege, but they don't have the clear answer. And from reading this post and also from reading the comments, the clear answer is not there, because everyone has different answers. Like there is pretty much 100% agreement within this post saying like it's shit. The current state is shit. And I totally agree. Like there are so many things wrong with Siege, like the core mechanics of Siege, that it's just boring, it's not interesting, it's not rewarding, it's too time consuming, it's very toxic. There is no like there's pretty much nothing healthy slash fun about Siege, and therefore you see less and less people, especially leaders. Leaders take so much like hats off to all the fucking leaders in Siege, man. You guys put next level fucking effort on making this motherfucker work. You guys put so fucking much time in making this shitty content fucking work. You have no clue, man. Like anyone in your guild, respect your fucking leaders. They put a lot of fucking effort. Like, hands down to that. Like, you know why I don't want to be a leader? Fucking lazy, man. Fuck that shit. I ain't gonna do that shit for shitty content. Okay, besides the point on that. There's a lot of things wrong with Siege, but how to fix it. So, there is a bunch of things like current point system is really shit. Balancing is getting worse. Some units like Lucian and Windy, they just over dominate shit. Hiding losses, that kind of mechanics, all of that kind of stuff. I would even drag it down to further things like let's actually just write down a few things. Balancing. We have 2 OP units, Windy slash Lucian, etc. So we have hiding losses. We have, let's see what we get down more the line. So we're just gonna sum up all of the things that are pretty shit right now. And people are saying the 1v1 system is just shit. But you could drag this down into like point gain slash point loss, etc. So because it's kind of like 1-in-1 on those. Again, keep in mind I'm not a Siege main player, so this comes from not a Siege main player. Also, a really big issue with this whole post, or not necessarily with this whole post, with this whole topic. Like, there's no issue with this post. Like, this post is perfect, absolutely perfect. Like, it's really good that something like this is made. But the issue with the topic is that everyone has different points of view. This is really a point of view from the top 0.001% of the Siege players, because they're the absolute top. But there are so many other people also playing Siege that don't share this opinion or not in this similar way because they're just doing Siege on a lower level. They don't have the same box, room quality, this, that kind of stuff. And therefore, they have a very different opinion about Siege offenses, defenses, anything like that. So that makes things for Kanto very difficult. How can you please everyone? How can you make a Siege update that the top end would say like, yo, this is the shit. The bottom end would say, yo, this is the shit. And everything in the middle would say like, yo, this is my jam. Like that's the holy grail they're trying to search for. I'm pretty sure, trust me, they are trying to search for it. There's a whole bunch of comments on this one as well saying like, okay, Countess doesn't listen unless it's Korea and blah, blah, blah. Funny thing is in Korea, they say they don't listen to Korea, they only listen to the West. Trust me, that's 100%, I can guarantee you 100%. Korea says the same thing and opposite. So either Countess doesn't listen to anyone or they listen to both, but maybe don't have the best like response. But in the end, the game has been running for freaking 8 years. It is very hard at some point to add things. Like if you add anything to the game, people are like, but I already have to do so much. And if you don't add anything to the game, it's like the game is getting boring and getting still. There's nothing to do. So there's a lot of different opinions on most of those kind of things. Issue is what I'm seeing here in the post mainly of Kisaki actually, is that there's no real how do you say, answers to the problems. And so, like for example, they say for example, I've read something about people saying like, okay, we do this interview talk and we give feedback there, but they don't do anything with it. That is because that's feedback from a biased perspective of the top 0.001% of the Siege players. If you purely take their feedback, it's going to be good for them, but maybe not for all of the other Siege players. And Countess, like with everything in mind that Countess does, or they keep everything that they keep in mind is always what is the best for the longevity of this game? What is going to make this game as enjoyable as possible for as many people as possible? That's pretty much always what they think. You could agree to disagree on that one, but that is my pure opinion of what I think they focus on. Whether they be looking at their PC, it's like, yeah, this Seiishizo, we don't give a shit about anyone. They could be like that, but honestly, that's my opinion. So the thing is, what he's actually mentioning is just the typical boomer explanation. Currently, everything is shit. In the past, everything was better. Go back to the previous system. That's pretty much Kisaki's main idea how to fix all of it. I'm not necessarily sure if that is the way to fix things. Like just go back to the old system and just keep doing that. Some other things he said, like for example, that other people make as main issue, limit Vioprocs. Some people mention it, so I'm actually going to write it down as main issue, but I'm gonna put a plus minus on it because that's a very debatable topic. This is something you definitely in lower ranks, people feel that this is more of an issue, and in higher ranks, people feel like, okay, we overcome that by doing other stuff like too many OP units. So technically this and this kind of go hand in hand, because if this goes away, then this issue goes up. But because of people and top end having too many units built of the same stuff, which is my opinion of like an issue in Siege in the first place, it's kind of getting around. So yeah, the 1v1s is the limit attack usage, only be able to use 80% of your attacks on one guild. You can still 2v1 the living shit. So let's say the 2v1s, you can 2v1 the living shit out of someone if you hit 80% on one guild. Like legit, you only have to go for like 65 to 70% hits on one guild with two good guilds, and you 2v1 any fucking guild. 2v1, I think, is a really big issue in Siege, but it's just one of those core mechanics that just makes Siege very toxic and very stupid. So those are that. There's a lot of comments on a lot of things about a lot of stuff. And I really highly recommend you to read all of it, form your own opinion, comment on the things you want to comment on, maybe leave your opinion either here in this video or on that topic as well. So Actually, I think there was one comment from Ente. Ente actually had like a he had more of a few reasonable things that also make sense of solutions rather than just summing up issues. Because I think what's the main issue with a lot of this feedback, it's just summing up issues, but there's no clear solution. But saying like previously was better, or that's the main issue. Like there's I have no clue how we would come to a common ground where everyone would be like, yo, this is so much better for Siege right now because everyone agrees that it's shit, but no one agrees on the solution. So, how can you make a proper solution from countless point of sight if everyone has a different solution? And I'm going to have a different solution. And you're going to have a different solution. And the next person is going to have a different solution. Is that bad? No. But because of that, I would give them slightly some slack on not having the best solution because no one has apparently. Like, how are they supposed to have it? So that's the main thing. That is also the main issue. There is no clear solution. So I'm gonna give you my solutions. But then again, that is not a clear solution. Whatever I say comes from my biased perspective of how I play Siege, how I see Siege, how I think Siege would be best for probably most people. But that is still my biased perspective. That is not the overall best for the game, maybe. One more. We have the issue of too time consuming doing nothing. You can't see the real nothing, but this is a really big issue. 2-day siege is a fucking issue. 1-day siege is an issue. Why? Time/time zones. This, man, there's so many core mechanics issues in Siege in general. It's just really hard to come by. Another issue that some people also mentioned, we see in top guilds, there's no top guilds trying / people leaving, etc. This is actually also a thing that comes through from top guilds' own, like, they have their own take in this actually, and I will come back to that one in a moment as well. So I think probably I missed a bunch of key points that you guys would say like, oh, this is more of a key point, you should have focused more on this, you should have focused more on that. I think these are the main key points that I would say that are main issues with Siege. So a few other things that, in my opinion, I would feel like is an issue or are issues as well is the defense rune switching, offense rune switching. I think those are issues which make Siege boring as well. And I think we kind of hit those two with that. The balancing of Siege and 2 OP units is because you can use those units all the fucking time. Having, like, to be honest, like, be honest to yourself. If you're a main Siege player, do you like to go in 6 hits with Windy or 8 hits with Lucian? You can literally switch the same Lucian set to all of those units like 7, 8, 9 times. I think that is the core issue of those things. So the main issue with offense and balancing is just simply the issue is that you can't do that too often. You can just, it's, man, literally for me, I don't know what you guys think about, but Siege is so fucking boring that you can go in with 10 Lucians. So for me, let's write the solutions with a hashtag. My solution would be you can't switch runes. For me, those two would be the solutions. You can't switch runes and you can't switch or use duplicate units. I think that fixes a lot of the balancing issues because you cannot use that shit. You cannot use dupe units in defense. So if you have 2 Kikis, sorry, fuck you. You can only use 1. If you have 2 Leo Mays, 5 Leo Mays, fuck you. Sorry, you can only have 1. You have 5 Dominics, suck you. Suck you, fuck you. You only have 1. That would limit it to a lot less of the same and more diversity in Siege in the first place. People actually have to think about offenses again rather than running the same 2A set like fucking 6 times in a row. So, but then again, to make it fair, I would say you also cannot switch runes for your defense. And that's actually a thing that they do in Chronicles. In Chronicles, it's actually possible. Can't freaking write. Chronicles, it is possible to set your defense to a certain standard. The moment you switch any of the runes, it would still say like, hey, this rune is on that unit on defense. It's a little bit more harder to keep track of, but I would like something like that where you cannot switch your runes in defense, personally. Then again, you would say like, okay, but then it's very easy to write down like, okay, this person has a swift set, you outspeed it like this, you clear it. I want to go for anonymous death towers, which means you don't know how the defense is exactly ruled. Sure, if you see a freaking lime on there, of course it's say blah 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 yada yada, that kind of stuff. But if your defense, like if you click on a tower, you don't see the names. I would like that, because then switching runes would not be an issue, because I think switching runes is definitely an issue in that stuff. Switching your offense runes, also, like, I think like the same thing. If you use the unit with a certain set and you want to use that unit to another set, it would just give you an error of saying like, okay, you already used this rune rather than that. With that, I also want to add the next thing, which is already in Chronicles as well, is if you get an error when you go for an attack, go to that monster reruning from there. Then come back to team. That team selected. They already do this in Chronicle. You go into a dungeon, you see my unit's not ruined up, you click on the unit, you ruin it from that screen, you go back, you're back at that screen with your whole team selected. We need that shit. It would make things 10 times better. Like, legitimately, 10 times better. So, that kind of stuff. That is pretty much for fixing offense and defense. In my opinion, again, this is completely my opinion. I would say you cannot use dupe units. I say you cannot use your same runes multiple times, both on offense and defense. Why? Because this adds just so much more diversity into Siege, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this one, mainly because they're main Siege players. They created 8 Windies, they created 9 Trianas, they got 15 Tractors, they got 20 Lulus. You don't need 20 Lulus. By all means, I don't give a shit. Figure of speech. So, I think those things can be fixed by that and can be made more interesting. But talking more about the Siege mechanics itself, hiding losses is very simple to solve. If not win, it's lose. Simple. Like there's no other solution to that. If you did go in and you didn't win, you lost. Simple. Like if there's that person no longer in that fight, you lost. Simple. It's as easy as that. The only issue there is with this is if you forcefully disconnect the game doesn't have an update status if someone is still in the game. They would actually have to create it right now. Because currently how Siege works is you go in and server knows. You go out and server gets update whether won or lost. And that's not how you write weather, but I don't give a shit. It's also someone on these fucking comments was like, oh, yeah, the grammar on the first post sucked. Like, dude, write a fucking essay. Like, fuck, man, no one gives a shit if it's somewhat unclear in English, man. We're not all natives and we're not, like, fucking technical writers and that kind of shit. So, getting to the point. These two things, there's only 2 checks whether someone won or lost in a Siege fight. So, there's no in between during the Siege fight checking. It's like, you there yet? Like the fucking Netflix and chill shit asking is like, you still watching? That's not there. They would have to build something in there, and if the server doesn't respond, that you actually have to get. So it's currently not possible with the current state of the game, but they could make something that is like, okay, we get that response saying like, okay, you there yet? And the phone says like, fuck you, didn't respond. Maybe you have shitty internet for a while. That's the only issue. Like if you actually give the phone or the server doesn't get a respawn, it will actually automatically make you lose. Could get some issues with that. So this is actually technically a thing that is somewhat difficult to fix from a technical point of view. I would say, however, if not win, it's lose. But it's not as easy as that. So Countess, good luck finding a good solution on that one. But I can tell you from a technical point of view, it's not that. 1v1v1 and the 2v1s. It kind of comes in hand of saying like, okay, it's very simple. Everyone hates 2v1. No one's going to like 2v1. Like legit, I'm from the guild, we 2v1, we just tell you we 2v1. There's a whole bunch of guilds that 2v1 and they say like, no, we didn't. Like by all means, don't want to make this into any siege drama. Very simple. Everyone hates 2v1. We hate 2v1. You hate 2v1. The next person hates 2v1. Your dog hates 2v1. Your mom hates 2v1. Your mom's mom hates 2v1. Everyone hates 2v1. How can you fix this? I think there is no clear solution to this rather than making the system 1v1. I think that's the only thing, but the issue is, next issue is predictable, boring sieges. You just know like, oh, okay, you just know like, okay, we already lost the siege because they're better than us. Instantly. Should it be like that? Because a lot of people saying like, okay, 2v1 is not fair, we were better, so we should win. So do we actually need 1v1s and therefore fair sieges? Because you're never going to... It's never going to be fair. Like, it's never going to be fair. Like, legit. If any guild wants to fuck you up for whatever reason, they're going to fuck you up for whatever reason. And a lot of people say like, yeah, but they do it to us, but it doesn't, we don't do it to them. Bullshit. Bullshit. There's not a, maybe another service, but there's not a single guild in Europe that can honestly say we never 2v1. At least in the top, maybe in lower ranks, I don't know how it goes there. But in the top, if you say like, oh no, we never 2v1'd anyone, you are very delusional and you have to get yourself checked. That's just a very fair thing. Everyone does and everyone hates. So that's just a simple thing. Also saying about like, I read something about guild alliances and blah, blah, blah. Fun fact is that came from the person that's in the first guild that actually made an alliance ever. So, hating other people for doing what you started up yourself. Besides that, okay, no drama, no drama. So yeah, everyone hates 2v1. So I think my clear solution is best like, let's go 1v1. Either that or you go 1v1, v1 with very strict, well, this is not a solution, that's a solution. Very strict rules of how many hits to one team. That could be a thing that you could say like, okay, you get like a penalty if you hit one guild more than 65% of the time. But then again, if you hit one guild more than 65% of the time, it's most likely that you need that many more hits because they have better defense and therefore you hit them more often. So I don't know what's the clear solution to it. Point gain and loss. Yeah, point gain and loss, points, let's put this over here, point gain, loss, let's actually pull it like on the side. What's the clear solution to that? I think the current point gain and loss is pretty shit. Maybe the plus 13 was actually, plus 13 is bonus, rest is not bonus. I'm not sure whether this is better or worse, but I guess for like, if you're like a way better guild and you're 2v1 by two way worse guilds, aiming for getting the bonus and still kind of winning, I guess would be, I think for a 1v1v1, the plus 13 bonus is actually better. But for this one, you can do like other points. Like, I feel like they should not have the same point system for one and the other, but that's my opinion. But to be honest, in this one, I don't have a clear solution for this one as well. So that's just my thing. Like for this, I don't have a clear solution because let's say I'm not that much of a Siege player that I know like the insides and out on this kind of stuff. I do know that the current point system is not that rewarding for playing better, and that's the main issue. So, and the previous system was better for that. So would we like to go back to the previous system? Could be, could be. This is a really, I would say, 1 day siege. That's the main, like, siege is so freaking time consuming. It takes so much time to look at siege and just see like, okay, this is hitting, that is hitting, blah blah. But I would add it with 45 min tower rebuild, or even go like maybe even 30, because there's just too little going on siege at most of the time. It's just boring as fuck looking at towers going down in number and blah blah blah, that kind of shit. That's, I guess, the only way how to fix it, like that you just put like a 45-minute time rebuilder. But then you get into the next issue. For Europe is one time zone, or maybe 2 3, like whatever you want to depend on it, like who you want to include, that kind of stuff. Technically Europe is 2 time zones. Technically Europe is 3 time zones, but most of it is in one, and there's like 2 outskirts with a little bit of there. US slash global, with players all over the place. 1 day siege is a pain in a bottle. So yeah, that makes things like somewhat more difficult. To be honest, I still think 1 day siege and 45-minute tower rebuild is the way to go. Like the cross-cutting thing that you have with like the front 2 towers on both sides, I don't think that helps anything. Like, to be honest, I think it makes things even more boring because you can tag everything from all the 3 towers around it. I would personally remove those. And just go, because they wanted to have a faster play. Faster play is just what you have by lowering the towers in time rebuild, in my opinion. Those extra lines, by all means, I don't think they add anything good. So in that case, I would say maybe remove them. So that's about it. How do you fix the issues with time zones? I don't have a solution. Simply don't. I have no clue. Like, for some people, siege starts at the fucking middle of the night. Some other people not. You really need the second day. I don't know. But technically, the second day is only a repeat of the time zone of the first day. So it's just a repeat of, sure, 1 day you're more busy than the other day, but it's technically a full repeat. So if you have issues with the time in the first day, you will have issues with the time in the second day. It's the same fucking shit. So it's literally the same fucking shit. I don't know why a second day would be needed. Like, to be honest, I don't see the point of a second day. Next thing. I don't see the point of second day. So yeah, it's not a solution to this for having a second day, I would say. Vioprox. Vioprox is very interesting topic, saying like, okay, defenses are more lucky. No, probably the defense that was more lucky outspeed you more heavy, or you went in with swift units, which is very common, or non-Via units, and you got wrecked by Via units, which is very common to be on defense. Something like that. Or they just hella outspeed you. Like, if someone has 25% more speed on all of their units against you, and they proc more, they took more turns. So, yeah, is it annoying for siege? Yes or no? I give it the plus minus, because yes, everyone can complain about like, oh, look at this RNG was so fucking zoggy. Yes, probably. Would you limit Via procs? No, because let's say if you limit Via procs, game gets too easy. Like, to be honest, the game is already like, if the top guild has fucking 97.3% win rate. Why? They use like shit ton of duplicates of their units, pretty much. But if you limit this as well, this becomes like 99.5%. 99.5% success rate on offense makes things, I would say, very boring. So I'm not sure, but that's again from a top end perspective. A lower guild in like whatever other rank, like even outside of the top 20, would probably disagree on this, but that is the main issue. There's no clear solution. I can only give my solution. That's all I can say. That I have no clear solution. I can only give my solution. Kind of going like in between things. This one's actually a very interesting topic. Like a lot of the top guilds saying like no other guilds are trying anymore. But you know what's the issue with top guilds in general? I'm not like pointing fingers. I'm not saying like, oh, you can't do anything about it. But it is just a logical state of what happens. And again, I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm not saying I have no solution. No solution to this one. Like by all means, I'm gonna state the problem, but I'm not gonna state a solution because I have no solution to this. I'm saying on that shit. The issue is people that do good, lower guilds, join better guilds, and better guilds, and better guilds, until at the end they're at the top guild. A lot of people do this. Like in the end, a lot of people, it's very simple. You join the winning team. And by you joining the winning team, you make all of the other teams worse. And since there's not that many new people coming into the game, actively playing Siege, caring about Siege that much, the top guilds are going to rule, and the top guilds are going to continue to rule, because all of the guilds from, like, let's say you have top 4 guilds. So you have rank 20 to rank 5. They all have like, let's say, rank 5 to 20 guilds have 3 to 5 good players per. If at the end of every Siege tournament, those 3, let's say 2 out of those 2 out of 5 good players go to top 4 guild. If that happens all the time, a lot of guilds are going to die out, especially the leaders of those guilds, because I actually know I know some guilds where the leaders at some point said that fuck it, I'm out for that reason. And that is not because Siege is shit, it's because of it is at some point, like, if your guild is not winning, they just join to the next thing, or they're being like approached by the next guilds, like, hey, you did 10-10 in the previous, like this, that, blah, 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 and that kind of shit. And the leaders just see their people leave. And they cannot climb because every time they're recruiting new people, they're trying to make a good roster, but they see their best people leave. So you get new people, you train them, you get them to a higher standard, and then your best people leave to the good guild, or like the strongest, highest guilds again. This is going to be super fucking demotivating for leaders. And that's where I take my hats off for, like, once again, hats off for fucking leaders. These people that have to deal with that every season of seeing their best people leave to, like, the better guilds out there because someone just wants to join the winning team, or they're being approached by the winning team. Like, by all means, why would you not join the winning team? It's the easy fucking win, right? So, by all means, like, no offense to anyone that joins the winning team. But because of that, leaders at some point say, like, yo, hey, fuck it. Like, we're never getting any better. We're, like, working on it for, like, 10 seasons. We're always, like, just outside of top 20, or, like, we're just inside of top 20, but we're not getting any round further, because every time that we have a few good players, they leave to the next guild. And once again, I have no solution to that, but that is something that I think is strongly contributing towards Siege dying out. Because you just have the few top guilds saying, like, okay, we keep doing there, and these guilds are gone. These guilds are leaving, these guilds are dying, these guilds are trying to keep their head above water, trying to recruit new people all the freaking time. But in the end, every time they do that, next season it's the same story. Once again, I have no solution to that. So that is pretty much my hot take on Siege, on the current system right now. To sum up my solutions, because I think, like, if you read this whole comment, I think it's very good at stating the problem. Some people more in there, here and there, give actual some feedback of what is a solution or what is not. But a lot of the things are just saying, like, okay, this is the problem, this is the problem. Last balance patch was horrible. They don't do balance patches too often, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. I think it's not about even the balancing. I think it's more about the core mechanics of Siege just being shit. Like, Siege, in the end, Hiding losses is a core mechanic of Siege that's shit. 1v1v1 and the point game currently, well, 1v1v1 or 2v1 in like current state of Siege is just a Siege mechanic that is shit. It's too time consuming where you do nothing but sit and watch at the screen, looking at numbers going down before you can hit something. Then you can finally hit something and like 7 other people join on the fucking hit. It's too time consuming to do fucking jack shit. You can literally faster finish, like if you're in an active guild, you can faster do 30 wings of RTA than do 10 wings of Siege. Time zones is an issue. Don't have to go clear solution with. Bioprocs, I'm not sure if it's an issue. I don't think it is an issue. So that's why the plus minus. There is no clear solution. I think that's the biggest issue. Like, what is the best solution towards all of the core mechanic issues in Siege? I stated a bunch of them. I can only give my solution. Another big issue is like, why is Siege not like a developing, like revolving, new people coming in, like some people may be leaving, but new people coming in, that kind of stuff, or new guilds coming in, trying to form, getting towards top 20 and that kind of stuff. It doesn't happen too much because all of the good people leave to the next guild. No solution to that. A solution I would have mainly to balancing, and I think you don't have to balance the game if you implement those things. Because the balancing of the game, like, you can say like, oh, we just nerf Windy, but then the next fucking shit unit that you create 10 of will pop up. Oh, we nerf Lucian. No, the next shit unit you will create 10 of will pop up. It's not going to fix the fucking core mechanic of the game. Balancing doesn't fucking help. Balancing is just going to, like, literally you have a pile of shit over here, you balance all shit, now you have a pile of shit over here. That's the only thing that balancing is going to do for this core mechanic, in my opinion. So with that, I would say you cannot switch runes. Therefore, we also have to put anonymous towers, so you cannot know exactly what you're hitting. Because currently, right now, people are like writing down the names like, oh, yeah, say he has this defense on Swift and this defense on Vio. And actually, I have some intel. This one is 215 and that one is like 3 Yamama and like something like that. That kind of shit. Like, why do you think some guilds change all the names to the exact same name? Anonymous defense towers. Simple as that. Simple solution. Then you can still say like, okay, we only know there's one Gianna in the guild and that Gianna defense is of course his. Yes, then don't fucking use that one Gianna defense. Only thing I can say. So I would like to say you cannot switch runes on your defense because it's stupid and annoying. Like, oh no, it's Swift. Oh no, it's fine. Oh no, it's this. No, it's that. Whatever. Like, not being able to switch your runes both in offense and defense, and you cannot use duplicate units. So I cannot say like, okay, I'm gonna put like 6 fucking Leo May defense with like rune quality, and therefore in the total guild we have like 50 Leo May defense. No, 25 people, maximum 25 of one unit. Whatever you want to put it, front line, back line, over the line, I don't give a shit. So that kind of stuff. And this is just something quality of life, which I really want to get. Like, if you get an error for like, oh, you already used that rune, or you already used that unit, or your unit is not runed, I want to go from that unit to my monster selection, or from that monster selection to my unit, re-rune that, go back to the monster selection. Especially for your inter-server guild battle. Actually, inter-server guild battle, I'm not gonna lie, has a lot of the mechanics which I would like to see in Siege. Like no duplicates. You also, if you switch your defense, your old defense still stays in there, that kind of stuff. Man, that's perfect. Perfect. Like, prep your Siege properly, put your good shit on it, and then go for it. Also, maybe to add this, you cannot switch runes. Give a mention if your Siege unit's not runed. Like, just I don't know when, but it would be sad. Like, that could be an issue. Like, okay, hey, you didn't rune your shit properly, and now it's Siege, and you cannot switch anything right now. Could be an issue, so therefore just give a mention like a day before, like the night before, just spamming use, like instead of giving you like, I'll buy this packs, like no, rune your shit. Your guild is gonna love you for that one. So, yeah, that's pretty much my hot take on Siege. Video is way longer than I expected. Hope you enjoy. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Once again, please keep Siege drama out of it. I tried as well. Yeah, that's just my hot take on it. Also, really upvote the message of Kisaki. In the end, this is to get out there towards HQ pretty much. I'm pretty sure I can guarantee you, people in HQ they watch videos, or well, let's say people in EU office, global office, they watch videos. They read Reddit, and they actually send things to HQ. And I think things like this help. Like this video helps. What Kisaki made in the start, like which is like igniting the fucking like topic in the first place, helps. That like perfect what he did. Absolutely gorgeous what he did. Love the man for that. So I think it's very good to have these topics mentioned. I'm also thinking it's very good to give them as much feedback on what could be improved, because stating everything is shit is very easy. I'm very good at that as well. But saying what is all shit is really simple, and they know. Like trust me, they pretty much know what is shit. But the only way they can give a clear solution, because in the end only they can give the solution what they think is best. But they do that based on like weighing the different kind of solutions that we bring to them. They weight all of them, and then they make a solution combined of that. Is that exactly what you want to see? Probably not. There's a bit of plus minus over here, but a plus minus over there. Also, if you do this, that's an issue that you would get with this. This will upset Siege mains. Why? Because they made 16,000 Trianas. So my solution will upset people, and therefore most likely they will not give this solution. But this is a thing that came into Siege for like I don't know how many years. They never addressed it on time, and they just kept going with it. And now it's too much of a problem. You cannot really roll back. So yeah, I'm not sure whether they will probably not do this. Like they will not do my solution. Why? Because it will upset people, and I know that. Not that I know that it develops. Oh, I do know that it upsets people, and I do know that it will not implement it. But to be honest, I still think it's the best for the state of Siege and the core mechanics of Siege. So therefore, it's very hard. Like they try to please as many people as possible. If they will go for my solution, I think a lot of people will be pleased by the state of Siege, and a lot of people will quit playing Siege because they put so much effort in building all of these dumbass duplicates. Because that's just the best way to play Siege. So in the end, like there is no clear solution. That's wait, where is it? This is hands down. Yeah, there is no clear solution because my solution will not please someone else's solution. So yeah, guys, I think I rambled on long enough. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it if you like it. I would more appreciate you if you go to the Reddit post and upvote that one. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. See you later.